Welcome to Zero BS Estate Agency, the podcast for estate agents who want to cut through the industry nonsense and actually get better at what they do. No fluff, no gimmicks, just straight talking insights from people who know how to get results. Today, I'm sitting down with Jack Fletcher from Enfield Estate Agents in Poole. Now, Jack's got a reputation for doing things differently, delivering real value to sellers, running a high-performance agency, and most importantly, winning in a competitive market. We'll be diving into what separates great agents from ones that just coasting, and how to stand out in a crowded market, and the practical steps you can take to become the go-to agent in your area. So if you're serious about leveling up your game, stay tuned. This one is for you. So Jack, what is the one thing that truly maximizes the value of someone's home when they go to sell their property?
For me, John, it's three separate things. I don't think it's one thing in particular, but it's three pillars all working together at the same time and coming together beautifully. So the first thing for me is obviously price. What price can we put your property in the market for to get those 5, 10 best buyers through the door within that 7-day first period process? Number two, exposure. And I would class marketing under that as well. How many eyeballs are going on your property listing? How many people are seeing it for sale? Not everyone looks at Rightmove or on the market every day, but you do that by making sure you've got other avenues in place to make sure you're getting every single buyer looking at that property. And then three, I think, is just strategy. What as an agent are we doing to get this property sold for you? What plan have we got in place? Are we just chucking it on Rightmove, wait for the phone to ring? Or have we got a robust social media strategy? Have we got other buyers from other properties that we've sold similar to get in the door to give us a little bit of price market research before we go on the market, that sort of thing? So I don't think it's anything in particular, but I do think the basics have all got to be working really, really well to then get that best possible price.
I want to pick you up on something you just said, which I absolutely think is genius, right? And no one so far has actually said it, yeah? Which is speaking with buyers that may have missed out on a property that was similar to the one that you are now going to value. To get, when you're speaking to these buyers, you're not just speaking to them about, oh, how's family? How is everything? Mortgage in principle. You just said to get market intel.
Yeah.
To get an understanding of where the actual buying market is at. So you're not just taking a guess. And it's super considered because of that level of intelligence. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. I think if we got a price point where perhaps me and the seller are a little bit, there's a gap in, the seller thinks it's that price, I've showed all the comparables with evidence to take that seller on a journey to say your property is worth in around this price bracket. If we're still not singing off the same hymn sheet, right, okay, I have just sold this around the corner. It's had 8, 9 or 10 viewings or so. It got this possible price. Those guys missed out on it, or they didn't like it for that particular reason. Let's get around it. Let's get them through the door. Those guys are in the market. What I always say is a great quote, I think, when I'm trying to tie up deals as well, is how long has that buyer been in the market? It's not how long your property's been on the market. It's how long that buyer's been in the market. And if they come in and go, whoosh, full asking price offer straight away, it doesn't mean your property's undersold. It means that buyer is seasoned enough to think, right, I've seen enough houses to know that's the house for me. So yeah, I think it's a great strategy, I think, to work out where your price is and whether we're on the right sort of line or not.
That Jack makes so much sense. Not how long your property's been on the market, how long the buyer's been on the market, because the buyer has seen maybe 40, 50 properties online. They have probably inquired maybe about 15 to 17 properties with agents that actually may have not ended up being quite right. And they possibly have been out to maybe see 5, 7. And they get to maybe, if they've not already bought, they've got a very good understanding of, one, what the market's actually doing. 2, what prices for the band of property they're looking in really are. Yeah. And 3, they're probably a little bit frustrated with the whole thing. So if you've qualified them and you know exactly what they're looking for and they've missed out on a property with you, is that buyer going to be moldable and shapeable? Or are they going to think you as the agent representing your client, you're just a dirty, horrible, stinking scumbag trying to get a deal done?
Yeah, exactly. And how many times have we sat there, done a deal after a day, and that seller's asked you, Jack, can I get a reduction in the fee? No, no, that's not what it's all about. That's my pet hate. So I use that line. I said it's not how long you're probably been in the market, it's how long that buyer's been in the market.
Yeah.
If they see value in it and they missed out on 10 others, they're gonna come in and all bells and whistles, bang, there's the offer because they want the property.
And
Um,
what they're actually buying though, really, is 9 years of experience in the trenches, getting things wrong, but you don't make the same mistake twice. So they're
yeah.
buying the actual experience, expertise, superior knowledge of working with other human beings, not buyers, other human
Mm,
beings.
mm, mm.
Because, yeah, great. Property goes under offer day one, week one. Brilliant. You've still got another 3, 4, potentially 5 months of keeping not just that buyer suite and making sure they're following the program,
Yeah.
but then the entire chain that you now have to negotiate and navigate as well.
Yeah, completely. If you can demonstrate their value, you shouldn't have that conversation. But you do get it occasionally if you've overachieved at that first hurdle type thing. But no, I'm a firm believer of pricing realistically, and sometimes it is your downfall. After a week or so, you've got all these bids and offers going on, and that sort of looks like, well, look, Jack, you haven't done anything to sell the property. Well, look, do you want me to struggle for 3, 4 months and do 30 viewings in Turkey at your own house on a Saturday afternoon and get 10% below what it's on for? Or should we crash buy and wallet, get it sold now at the right price, or if not over, and get it done then? So I think sometimes sellers mistake a quick and good result as you haven't done the right job, but they're not paying us for the time; they're paying us for the result, aren't they?
Yeah, no, you know what? Absolutely. Another thing as well, surveyors. A surveyor doesn't give two monkeys' uncles what you've done, how good you are, whether that's manipulation or whether that's actually being a professional. They are not
Mm,
interested. They are not working for you. They are not working for the surveyor, sorry, as the seller. They're not working for the buyer. They are working for the lender, be a
yeah,
mortgage company, a bank, whatever, right? That's who they're
yeah,
working for. So by making sure that you absolutely know your buyers to within an inch of their lives, and when the surveyor says, well, how much interest have you had? And you're able to say, well, we had 17 viewings, we had 5 offers, 3 at asking price, 2 above asking price. That surveyor is probably going to go, right, tick, appetite, nice.
yeah,
And you're probably going
yeah.
to get the deal through. And that's what we're talking about here. But would you say that the level of marketing that you do,
Mm,
including the price that we've spoken about, and
mm.
the strategy is a reason sometimes it could look like you're what's that phrase? You're a something of your own success. You're a
A victim of your own success.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and yeah. If we do it properly, you've got the video tour, which is either done professionally or done with an iPhone, whatever sort of way you want to go down. I also think a video tour's as compulsory as a floor plan nowadays. I
Mm,
hate seeing listings that just sat there with bang average photos and a floor plan. For me, those photos have got to be top notch. The floor plan's got to be correct, and there's got to be some sort of walkthrough. Would I take a photo of someone's hallway? Probably not. But on that video, it gives you the flow. It gives you the bits and bobs which you definitely wouldn't see on that listing. And when I get to the actual viewing, that buyer's already in their mind. Oh yeah, I saw that in the video or whatever it is. It for me, it tees up a viewing nicely. Have you seen the video tour? Yes, I love it. Or no, I don't like it. Okay, fine. That doesn't waste. The seller's time doesn't waste your time, whatever. If they've watched the video and they've got a full look at that marketing package, we're already talking about money even before we walk through the door. So
mm,
that's what I really like about it. Um, but for me, the social media campaign is also really important. What I like at the moment is trying to show buyers, like I said, not everyone looks at Rightmove on the market every day, but they're looking at their Instagram every day. They're looking at their Facebook. And if I'm sponsoring it in the right places or their friends are getting tagged and whatnot, we'll catch them buyers that aren't necessarily looking at the market every single day. And if we can look at that, and at the end of those 4 or 5 weeks, if I've been had a certain project on the market for 4 or 5 weeks and it's not sold, how can I advise that client to either take that lower bid or reduce the price if I haven't demonstrated that I have thrown the kitchen sink at it over the last
mm.
4 or 5 weeks? But if I've got all this data to say, look, this buy's being seen by this amount of people, not these right move graphs, huge I don't want to be too rude here, but I'm not a fan of them graphs whatsoever. The real stat to me is how many people have clicked into that listing, those video tour views are an amazing thing for me. Has your video had 500 views on YouTube? Brilliant. Okay, you can't just stumble on that video. You have to go into that listing, click through it, and watch the video. That's 500 genuine buyers or people in the market. They're looking at it, and you've had no viewings. Okay, something's wrong. How can we diagnose the issue here? So I think in doing all these things and making sure we're casting a net as wide as possible, then we can then make it at the end of those 4 or 5 weeks to say, great, that bid that we're having an argument about, that's the right one, or we'll keep it going because we're just getting constant interest.
So would you say you're more of a consultant that just happens to be an expert in property as opposed to an estate agent?
Oh yeah, to some degree, I'd say. I think it's going down the marketing way as well. An agent on Instagram, I won't name them, but they're amazing marketers on Instagram. They do some incredible videos. I think they call themselves property marketers instead of estate agents. I think you can veer away from that slightly because the negotiation part of it is really important as well. We can't sort of steer away from that. But yeah, I do think it's changing where people want to see their property shown off in the right way, and they also want to get the no BS advice. And I think if we can, what I think we do at Enfield is that we've got the marketing and the strategy up into that 2025 way of selling it, but also you've got that no BS agent to say, right, you need to be at that price to secure it or whatever it is. So I think it's important to get that right mix, and that then brings me back to that 3 pillars of how we get a property sold at the best possible price.
Yeah, and and tell me if I'm wrong, but you've had a phenomenal start to your career as a director, starting Enfield's. Was it January 2024 in your
Yeah, yeah,
in your
yeah. So I
first year?
partnered. Yeah,
Sorry, go on. You partnered.
no, I partnered with a really fantastic local estate agent, Jonathan, who owns the Bournemouth Enfields, and we were sort of, I'd say, flirting for 3 4 years about working with each other and jobs here, sales managers, that sort of thing. And when the opportunity came about for Jonathan to expand into Poole, where he's probably not as knowledgeable, where for me it's my area, it's just an opportunity that I couldn't say no to. So yeah, we've now gone into partnership into Poole, and no, it's just gone on leaps and bounds from there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a phenomenal start. Over 40 exchanges in a year. That's incredible from a standing
Mm,
start, i.e., a new office in a location.
mm,
70 under offer, 250 vowels over the period of that
mm,
year.
mm.
You're clearly trusted.
Yeah, I like to think that over the last 7 8 years, I've built up a good amount of clientele that will come and back will work with me, or even just recommend me going forward. But for me, the social media is what I've doubled down on this year. When I looked at what we can do to really make a dent in Poole, there's about 100 agents that you can choose from. If you have a property in Poole, whether it's online or not, there is literally, I think, 107 agents you can choose from. There's a heck
Mhm.
of a lot of agents. So how can we stand out? How can I be in that top three? How can I be on that phone call list and start saying, right, I want to get my property valued. Who do we call? You want to be in that top 2 3 agents to be in with a chance. And I know, selfishly, this might come across arrogant, but I know if I've got a chance in that living room or lounge, I've got a good chance. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
to get to that point, you have to be seen and known. And for that, I just felt that there was no one really locally that was getting in front of the camera, giving advice, showing properties off in the right way. That's brilliant, but also just being personable. I think agents can, you can come across as that sleazy. You come across as a 3 piece suit. A lot of people quite daunting when 3 agents come and see you, knock on the door. Who is this? But I like to think I've got a good social media sort of CV on there that people can see what I'm about, see what I do, and when I do come to them at the front door, it's Jack type thing rather than hi Jack, nice to meet you type thing. It's just that it feels like you know them and they know you, and then automatically I think you've got a one up on that corporate agent that comes in that's in a 3 piece suit
Mhm.
that's probably a bit of a robot. So yeah, that's the way I like to think that we've done our business this year.
So, it's a question for me, right? Because of course, yes, you come across really well. Absolutely, there's no question about that. Your videos that you're recording are next level brilliant, right? It's got a really nice blend across your Instagram. You've done so well in the last year, and obviously before that when you was working in another agency. But why though? What is the big overarching theme? Why do you want to do so well in those three core areas that you spoke about earlier in the podcast? And why do you keep pushing the envelope? Is it purely because I just want to be the richest estate agent in the UK, or is it something else?
No, no, I'm just fed up of seeing it done badly. As the worst thing in the world when you go on Rightmove on a Monday morning, you see something's been listed online. It's been absolutely butchered. It's the wrong price. The photos are terrible. There's no video tours, no floor plan. So I feel like there's a bare minimum to list a property and the service that a lot of agents give, and it is rock bottom. So I feel like if you can get those three pillars, like I mentioned to you, you can't go too far wrong. And like I said, I think that's a big reason why we've done so well this year is or last year, sorry, is that we've got those three things pretty much bang on. And when I'm in the lounge, I'm not necessarily the highest um, valuation. I think I'm realistic. You do lose out on your couple for someone that's going miles above, and then it gets knocked down week after week. My USP is that very rarely do I sign people into a contract. We are a 0 week selling contract agency. I don't even give a notice period. I say, look, this is a trust thing between me and you. Hopefully, after last hour or so, I've demonstrated that I'm not trying to pull the wool over your eyes. I'm not going to just say this price to win your business. If you're happy with me and I'm happy with you, let's do it and put me to work. But if I don't fulfill my promises over the next 28 days, is really my cut off as to okay, what have we done here? Our average selling a property from list to sale was 31 days last year. So I try and use that 4 week or month strategy as to what have we done. If we haven't done that, but you're still happy with me and we're still crashing the viewings in and that sort of thing, or we're on the right path, brilliant, we'll keep going. But after that time, if you feel like I haven't called you every other day and not had the right service, then I'll hold my hands up and say, yeah, no problem at all. You go on with that other agent. So it's that confidence to know that you can give that right service, but not tying someone in for a long, long time just so that I've won the business now. I'll only call them for 7, 8 weeks. I think that's why we've done so as well. Is give that service to sellers and buyers that maybe they're not getting that service from their agent. A lot of agents don't want to call that seller after 7, 8 weeks. I'm scared to call a seller because I haven't had a bit of interest in 8 weeks. But if you over service that seller, even giving them properties that aren't on the market with us and showing them what else is out there, then you're going to be that person they're going to call next to try and clean up that mess.
No, do you know what? Put goosebumps over me what you just said then, because no, it did because that takes courage, balls, because most agents would say, no, no, the reason why we get them into a long, long, long contracts, right, is because one, I've either promised my wife an holiday and I need to make sure I get it. So, yeah, that's why we just signed that contract. We know it ain't going to sell. We just wanted the business, right?
Mm.
And then sell it at a massively reduced price later. But what you're doing though is you're going, no, no, no. Here is the series of milestones that we need to achieve. You, as the seller, need to be in as much control as you possibly can be in, being led by me in this instance, because ultimately I'm the expert right now, but I'm not necessarily a surgeon. So I'm not an expert in being as, I'm not going to cut someone's leg off because I'll get it wrong,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
But what we're talking about now, I'm leading. But at the same time, I recognize that for every day a property stays on the market longer than 30 days, people will start to believe something's wrong with it. And if they
Yeah.
start to believe that, that's when I'm going to start costing you a load of money. So
Yeah.
what I'm doing it the opposite way around is I'm giving you the choice of being able to sack me if I'm not delivering as
Yeah.
as close to day zero as possible. So it ends up that the seller ends up getting what they want, which is the next chapter in their life,
Yeah. Yeah.
as opposed to being dragged along through a bush backwards in the hope that they actually eventually sell, which is completely wrong. And I love the fact that you're doing it the way you're doing it, mate. It is beautiful.
Yeah. It's putting that control back with the seller. It's the worst thing in the world where someone gets 4 weeks into their contract and realizes, oh no, we fucked up here. We should
Mm,
have gone elsewhere. And they come and see you and think, right, okay, Jack, put up the market. Let's have a quick look at what you've signed. Oh, great, we're signed into the middle of May. It's like, I just can't do much about it. So
yeah.
I put that on us to make sure we give the right service. And if not, I'll have to say, look, that we haven't done what we said what we would do. But if you've got that trust and you've got that accountability, then I'm not going to do that. So that I think is how we've had to differentiate ourselves. One, putting ourselves out there and putting a face to the name and being that friendly, honest, approachable face, but also giving that approach of, look, that's where I think it's worth. This is what we can do for you. But if you don't think it's working after 4-6 weeks, hold my hands up, no problem at all. I will probably give you my advice as to who to go with next, that sort of thing. So it's that zero BS agency I think we talk about.
Jack Fletcher, Enfields, mate, thank you so much for coming on this podcast. You've been absolutely amazing. I've enjoyed every single moment of this. Yeah, and it's brilliant, mate. Thank you so much.
Hey, top man, John. Like I said, I've watched you on TikTok over the years, so to get the message to come on here was it's a pleasure. Thanks, mate.
So that's a wrap on today's episode of Zero BS Estate Agency. A big thanks to Jack Fletcher for dropping some serious knowledge on what it takes to thrive as an agent in today's market. If you're an agent who's hungry to improve, take action on what you've heard today. Don't just listen, apply it. And if you want more no BS insights to help you grow, make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share this with another agent who needs to hear it. No fluff, no shortcuts, just better agency. Catch you next time.